Have you ever wondered why you keep doing what you do, where your actions, your habits truly come from? Are they conscious choices or patterns running quietly beneath your awareness? Welcome to the Otdushi Podcast. I am your host, Yulia Otdushi. I want to invite you into your internal world, a space where you can gently explore the meaning behind your mind's behaviors and body's responses. And if you believe what may exist beyond them all, your soul. You are the one living your life, and your decisions may be supporting the life you once imagined or quietly shaping something different. The way you perceive your life and the way you move through it reflect patterns you learned long before consciously choosing them. Most of us rarely pause to ask ourselves, where did these patterns begin? So before we talk about changing anything, before we talk about shifting, let's become curious about where our earliest patterns began to form. And they began to form before language, before conscious thought, earlier, much earlier. Long before we are born, development has already begun. Inside a mother's womb, life unfolds through sensation, chemistry, connection. An embryo forms, gradually shaped by the environment around it, held within the mother's body. Her breathing, her heart rate, her hormonal rhythms, her emotional states matter because emotions shift physiology and gradually shape psychology. Stress changes hormone levels. Safety changes them too. And these biological signals move through maternal placental connection, with the placenta acting as a regulator. The developing being who once was you and me is shaped by what is present. From the very beginning, development is relational. The mother's internal world becomes part of the baby's first environment. If the mother is under chronic stress, the baby's stress response system may become more sensitive. If the mother feels support and safety, that safety can be carried into the child's body through steadier rhythms, steadier chemistry, and connection. The baby's body is learning before the thinking mind forms. By the time we are born, conditioning has already begun. And then we enter the world. The way we are welcomed, the tone of the room, the touch, the gaze, the consistency or inconsistency of care, all of it begins shaping our earliest perceptions. Am I safe? Am I wanted? Am I too much? Am I enough? Is the world predictable? Are people, especially adults, reliable? Yes, the closest people to us become our earliest mirrors of self. The way caregivers responding to us becomes a blueprint for how we respond to ourselves. Conditioning forms through repeated moments, repeated words, reactions, emotional climates. If a child is praised only when performing well, the nervous system learns love equals achievement. If a child is criticized often or never quite feels good enough, the mind and body learns I must try harder. Or perhaps I'll stop trying at all. Patterns continue to form, some quietly, some sharply. And then we grow up. Well, at least we look like we did. But sometimes in certain moments that earlier conditioning still speaks. Inside each of us still lives that once conditioned child. And most of us are still learning how to communicate with this child. Learning how to create safety within, how to respond with understanding instead of judgment, how not to criticize yourself, not using harsh language, not being a victim, just being aware and compassionate towards ourselves. Even being a professional in mental health doesn't make me exempt from this process. For me, it simply means being a lifelong student of myself. Because honestly, no matter how many books you read, no matter what degree you hold, at the end of the day, there is still you. Not your roles, not your achievements, not your conditioning, just you. As adults, we can understand our past, we can explain what hurts us, we can analyze our thoughts, and still continue operating from what feels familiar. And that's why understanding is not the same as retraining. And that's where the work begins. We can begin training the nervous system to respond differently, to feel safe and kindness, to soften, to be more compassionate to ourselves. And this is why I'm here. That's why this podcast is created. To become a student of yourself, to learn, to be curious about your own mind and body. In the next episode, we will go deeper. We will explore how conditioning create patterns, how patterns become automatic habits, and how awareness begins to shift what once felt fixed. Today, it was about recognizing, noticing yourself, recognizing that your conditioning has been there before your thinking mind developed. So, for this week assignment, if you're up to that, let's begin to notice something simple. Noticing perhaps your reactions, recognizing your patterns, and mainly learning how to notice without judgment. This is the first step. Becoming familiar with your own internal library. And when you begin to understand that library, you begin to lead your life more intentionally. One breath, one reaction, one moment of noticing. That's enough. Thank you for being here with me on the Otdushi Podcast. Until next time, start by noticing yourself now.